wow, just sheer chaos in that game. Gambia 2, Cameroon 3. Really, that's how you play a third group game, at an AFCON, where you need to win to stay alive in the competition. And the Cameroonians gave everything they could. Shout out to the Gambia, they played really well. But I always say that if there's one country in Africa that knows how to find the performance when they need to find it, it's Cameroon.
Yeah.
It is Cameroon.
It is Cameroon. And they did it against Ghana in the 2008 AFCON. They did it in the 2017 final, the AFCON final, when all hope looked dead and lost. They did it against Algeria to qualify to the 2002 FIFA World Cup. Because remember, the first leg at home in Yaoundé, I think they lost. And in the second leg, they ended up beating Algeria to qualify. And so for Cameroon, yesterday it looked a bit too desperate. And they really, really rode their luck because Gambia had very, very good opportunities to score goals against them. And, they fluffed their lines a little bit. And, at the end of the day, you always want to give it a good shot. If you don't give it a good shot, you stand no chance of getting that all-important win and qualifying to the next round. But at the end of the day, Rigobert Song and his boys, they came through. And, I think with Gambia, I think that equalizer, the second equalizer from Cameroon, I think that's what broke them, the own goal. To go up ahead 2-1 and concede after 2 minutes, that for me is what, that was for me the downside of the game they played, that they couldn't hold on to that lead. The way Cameroon was desperate, had they held on to the lead for even 6 minutes, honestly, they would have ended up winning this game and progressing to the next round of the competition. But it is sad that they ended up crashing out of the competition because they really gave it a good fight. And I understand why a lot of people are pushing for their coach to be the next head coach of the Black Stars. I would go in for, I would also push in a new name. I would go in for Mozambique's head coach, Kenyo Conde.
Okay.
For a guy to have that collection of players and to constantly have that mindset to attack, play out from the back, be so good when it comes to their offensive play, attacking play, get their fullbacks heavily involved in everything that they do offensively. I've been impressed.
Okay.
Looking at the collection of players that they have, their quality do not match the Black Stars in any way. But I absolutely love what they put on show in the AFCON. So I'll throw his name in the ring.
I mean, for our viewers, I'm sure people would want to have that conversation about who should be the next Black Stars head coach. I'm sure that will come up a little later. But let's focus on this one. Edwin, on the touch part, I'm sure you had a few things to pick out of that game. That was a really, really interesting game to watch.
Nathan, it was an exciting game, and I couldn't keep my eyes off it. But one thing in particular stood out to me for both sides, and that was their defending from aerial situations where crosses are put into the box, how they defended it, especially on the back post. What I'd like to point out is, in particular, is the defending from set pieces for both sides. This is Gambia in possession of the ball from a corner. The ball is put into the box, and I'd like to stop play here. Over here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Cameroonian players inside the box.
Okay.
To 1, 2, 3, 4 Gambian players who are attacking. And yet, somehow, a couple of Gambian players are left free. There's this one who is abandoned by the player who was supposed to be marking him. And then, of course, there's our player here who is completely free, perhaps because this defender fell to the ground. For whatever reason, he decided to fall to the ground. A few things I would like to point out here. Let's focus on this defender right here. I like it when teams put players on the line, where they put, I even prefer them to put on either post. But when you are giving that duty, you are not supposed to hug the post. You are not supposed to be on the outside of the post or right in front of the post. You are supposed to be on the inside, where you can make a movement to the side to stop any ball from going into the box. Our player here, he just sticks to his post and doesn't move. So that's one problem here. And then this second defender, who is supposed to be marking our guy here, at the start he stood close to him, and then he just moved away, allowed him to have a clear run and go. You don't do that as a defender. No matter how many players are charging in on your goal, you stick to your man as much as possible. If any mistake occurs, it's because of him. It's not because of your other teammates failing to cover. So we'll take a look at the sequence and see how those players move. First player, he doesn't even make a move. And this player is allowed time and space to just head into the back of the net. That is woeful defending on the back post from Cameroon.
That one, Ondoa saved it.
Ondoa saved it. But that's woeful defending.
Yes.
I'm just highlighting the set-piece errors from our teams. Now, Cameroon have their own corner kick. Christopher Wu is allowed a clear run on goal. There's this thing that a lot of defending teams do, where they put men on a few players in the box, but allow the opposition 2 players on the outside, allow them for whatever reason a chance to run in on goal behind the players who have been marked.
Now, based on this, if you listen to people talk about set piece defending, there's always the question, what do you mark?
Do you go
zone or man?
Yes.
I go man. I prefer man because
I think the consequence of Christopher Wu's header is that the Gambians went on zone.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but Edwin.
Look, a few teams try and mix.
Yes.
I think this is a mixture.
This is a mixture.
This is a mixture. They do man.
So
if you can, you can see everybody has a man here.
Yeah, they have a few players who are near the 6-yard box marked. However, there were 2 players out on the outside of that zone, including Christopher Wu, who were allowed runs into the box. And these are 2 of Cameroon's best headers of the ball. So you don't leave them unmarked for whatever reason.
Okay.
Wu was able to get into, let me highlight him right here so that everyone knows who I'm talking about. He was able to get into a good position to head the ball. And when you have a tall player running and getting a running jump, it's going to be difficult to defend against that, no matter who you are. And there was no one going to stop him. All he had to do was get that header on target, and Cameroon have an...
no defender.
And I'm happy you mentioned
at the post.
The running start, because that allows him to generate power because he's running.
Exactly.
Then he takes off. That's enough momentum. And once he gets his head to that ball, it's going. Kind of reminds me of Sergio Ramos in that Champions League final with Atletico Madrid. Cross comes in, he runs, attacks it, bang, touches it.
That's why for me, the previous video, the previous video you showed, Chitam, his performance or his role in that save, Ondoa save, it was so terrible because he saw the ball, he moved away from his man, he was attacking the ball, and he completely mistimed his jump, and he missed the ball completely. Yes. Look, he's focused on the ball. He's focused on the ball, not the man. And he has a running start, and he can clearly see the trajectory of the ball. Yeah. He goes in, he attacks it, and he misses it. For me, that's poor defending. Very, very poor defending.
So the Gambia did not take advantage of this opportunity. They concede from one set piece, and then they have their own set piece to deal with, which we'll come to. And this was when the game was 3-2 to Cameroon, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, so on to our next clip where we'll see the Gambia's corner kick. And I'd like us to take a look at this. I know we've seen it to death, but it's still an interesting clip to watch. The ball is put to the near post, a run which was not tracked, and the header goes in. Over here, we think that it's a goal, and it's given us a goal initially. But obviously, this is why VAR is important. Without VAR, that would have been given us a goal, and it ends 3-3. Cameroon are out of the AFCON. With VAR,
the Black Stars stay alive for another 24 hours.
I think that's the bigger reason why we need VAR. We needed them out of the competition. So as we can see here, there's no hiding from this.
And even the trajectory of the ball.
Exactly.
It changed. The trajectory of the ball changed. Once it brushed off his hand, the trajectory of the ball changed. And that's what got it past Ondua.
I don't agree with the term brushed. I think he punched it. He tried to punch it into the back of the net.
Okay, flicked it.
He flicked it into the back of the net. Because it was very deliberate from him. Pushed out his hand and pushed it into the back of the net. And he takes off celebrating.
The way he celebrated, that was the funny bit.
He takes off celebrating. And that's our player here for you.
It amazes me.
That's the guiltiest face.
In this day and age of
VR,
VR, like he thought that you could get away with it.
Anyway, just final question on that. He got booked.
Yes, he did.
Rightly so.
I mean, if that's why not a red card? It's deliberate handball, isn't it?
It's deliberate handball, but
context.
Look, in the context of the game, the referee decided not to give him a yellow card because, fine, he did punch it into the back of the net, but as it was seen by VAR, there was no need to escalate the punishments to a red card.
Especially considering what was at stake.
Exactly, what was at stake.
And I always go back to that 2010 World Cup final. That Nigel de Jong Kung-fu kick on Xabi Alonso. And that was a red card.
That was a red card.
But Howard, he couldn't give a red card at that time of the game. There was no way he could have given a red card.
Yeah.
He dishes out the red card. Game is messed up completely.
Yeah, sometimes referees need to take these things into consideration.
Oh, they do.
Discretion,
context.
common sense.
It's very important. It's very, very important.
All right. I don't know if you have any.
Yeah, so I think that's done. We've highlighted the set piece issues for both sides.
All right, interesting. So the set piece playing a key role in that game. Gambia to Cameroon. Cameroon have made it, and their prize is a date against Nigeria. Interesting. A date with Nigeria on Saturday in the AFCON 2023 round of 16. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more to analyze as the third group games of some groups from yesterday took place in the AFCON. This is the AFCON Daily Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.